Okay, welcome to episode 31 of Most Men. I am Mark Mahoney, and today we've got Tyler. Tyler, what is your last name? I don't have it memorized.
Tyler Cambry.
Cambry, okay.
Yes, sir.
We got Tyler Cambry with us. Want you to like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia, themostmen.com, info@themostmen.com. That's MEN. Soon coming to Rumble. Tyler's going to have some other places for us as well. But welcome, my man.
Thank you. Love to be on the show.
Yeah, so everybody, Tyler is our new producer's not a good name for him. Tim's over here, by the way. Tim's going to come back in. But we wanted to introduce Tyler because we're super excited to have him to the group. But he's got, I mean, I don't know. He's an everything man. But once we move into the new studio, Tyler's going to do all of our editing, all of our marketing, all of our back-end stuff to really make this thing go. So without further ado, Tyler, kind of give us a background of what you do and what you're bringing to the table. I mean, it's a lot, and you may not understand it the way he says it, but I am super excited to have this guy join the team. I had over 300 something applicants, and he was the first guy that I talked to, and decision made. Okay, so let her rip, Tater Chip.
Well, I think I like this product and brand the most simply because I don't want to be like most men, you know, and I don't think most of us do. So
just talking to the mic a little harder.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I was saying is like I was more attracted to your brand because I don't want to be like most men, and I think most men don't want to be like what we've been framed into. So that was what initially got my attention with the brand. And now with the experience that I have during podcasting, video production, digital marketing, I'm pretty excited to do this because usually what I'm being put in to do is be the clutch man. When companies are sinking ships, they have holes that are irreparable or some things that they can't see. I've been the guy that they bring in to basically plug all the holes up, get the water out, and float it and let it go sink or let it go sink. That's not a good one. Not what I meant. But yeah, so I've been the repairman.
Let it go sail again.
Sail again, exactly. But usually that's going to have to do with getting a new crew, and some of these companies are still set in their ways, and it's kind of nice to be in a new environment to where I can lift something up that's already built and ready to be evolved and just sail down the ocean. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, well, you're not going to have any restraints here. I can guarantee you that. And you're going to have your budget. You're not going to hear. You're not going to hear much from me. I'm just telling you. I've been in business for myself for over 20 years, since I've been 17 years old. I'm a very good judge of character, and I don't think that he's tooting his horn loud enough, so I'm going to toot his horn for him on one end. And, Tim, this is the very important part of why I hired him. Not only with what he's done, okay, I don't know that he meant for it to happen, but he had to learn the business world real quick. And so he started pitching me on just things of how to make money that I had no clue. I'm just saying his business acumen that he probably doesn't know that he has, but he has it. And business guys can see that. And it's through how you talk and the way you present yourself and how you business guys understand that. So that's what I'm saying. You may not toot your horn loud enough on that, but that was the first thing I picked up on. I was like, this dude gets it. Like he not only does he get what I'm hiring him to do. Okay. And this is for everybody out there is this, I don't like the word boss. I don't like the word employee. I don't like the word employer, but all those things. I like team members, and I like my team members to reap the benefits of what's sown. And that's one thing about him that when I entered, we met and we talked for what, 5 hours.
I think so.
He's got a very, very good knowledge. His business acumen is up there, and I don't think he knows it. And I'm telling you, that's why you're going to really appreciate the way I do business, because it's going to pay off for you, is what I'm saying. You're not just going to be getting a salary and that's all you're there for, and I'm just going to abuse you and work you and do all that. You're going to, I'm going to let you go, and what you bring to the table, you're going to reap the benefits as well. So I'm ready, my man.
I'm ready too.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself, man. I've talked long enough.
Okay. Well, so the way that I initially got into this, I was on MTV a long time ago. I was on a show called Room Raiders, a show we all grew up with. Then after that, I got picked up on the WB. I did a show called An Eye for an Eye. And I was in acting when I was like in church and stuff growing up. So I'd already kind of been on stage and been in the camera. And as I got older, I was in love with like photography and videography. My dad was a photographer. He was an award-winning one here in Dallas, and he won a couple of those shows at the state fair. So he was always great at the visual side, and I picked up on that as well. And over the course of time, when I started doing more photography, like when I was living in Florida, I accidentally ended up doing headshots for people because I had this camera that was a mirrorless, and it had a Wi-Fi feature, so I could like take my own selfies on the beach. And then people saw me with my camera, my tripod, and my phone, like clicking pictures, taking pictures of myself. They started hiring me to take like headshots for them. So I was making like $100, and I ended up making the money back from my camera, not even trying to like exploit myself or anything. And then I realized, like, oh, you can actually make some money off of this. And I was using automatic settings back then. I didn't even know what to do with the camera. But then I started getting into the video side because the sunsets down there were so pretty. And there were birds flying around, and I started figuring out how to edit video, and then it just evolved in one thing into another. And once I got really deep into the videography thing, everything that I was trying to do was cinematic. And since I was on MTV and the WB and some other things, I was like, man, forget being an actor. Like, the money's at where you're like producing films and you're the director, and I started getting more into started understanding the business side of that a little bit more. And when I started working for the Dream Realm Pictures, I started, in my mind, it was just going to be a bunch of photography and really high quality, like commercials, cinematography and things like that. But once we got clients that hired our company to use that kind of marketing, I realized that it wasn't just like the pretty pictures and the pretty videos that were benefiting them. Obviously, it makes their company look good, but there was so much more down to a deeper, like way beyond the surface that generated an income. So in my mind, I was just like a really good artist. So I would take like great photos. I'd put together like the perfect little videos. They would advertise on their social media, on their websites. But they weren't, I would hand the video off to the marketing team, and I had no clue what they would do with it after that. And then sometimes they wouldn't hire me back. It was usually they would give me 2 or 3 times. But then they wouldn't pick us back up. So I had to figure out, so what was it about this video that didn't work? And then we picked up on this golf course customer that was having all these problems, and they wanted to focus on strictly like social media marketing with photo and video, because that was what's being pushed up in the algorithms for like Facebook. They promote video content heavily. So they threw us in there to go repair their social media marketing. And once we did that, I started understanding the purpose of the video was more important than just a good looking video. So like the golf course, for example, in my mind, I was just going to make a bunch of cool drone videos, make the landscape look great. We were taking videos of golf players and putting it in slow motion. So they would swing real slow. We'd like chop all the little edits so that You'd see the grass and the dirt flying everywhere. So the content was great, but there had to be a purpose behind it. So the golf course, they needed to make money in all these different areas. So they needed membership sales. They needed to increase their daily traffic. They had a restaurant. They needed people to eat the food. The liquor sales was one of their bigger areas of revenue. So we needed to advertise the drinks. And then they had an event center. And the event center is like where they were making thousands of dollars a day because somebody would rent it out, whether it was private or commercial, and they would have like a birthday party or a corporate event, and they would spend $1,500 to $2,500 on that event. So the company was losing, like, I think it was around $1,000 a day. So in my mind, really great video content's gonna really help turn that around. And it was making the right moves, but they were losing so much so fast, and they had been for like 3 years at that point. I had to find a way to really uproot something else. So even as good as the videos we could have put out, it wasn't creating the reviving revenue that they needed. So one of the things I started understanding was all the different aspects of those different departments that they had, like the events. The events made the most money, but they weren't utilizing their event space, which during those events, they also buy the food. And in those events, they can also rent out the golf course. So I re-identified the golf course into an event venue. And once I changed their identity through photo and video and advertised it that direction, they started booking the events all throughout the week. So their revenue started going from negative 1,000 to plus 3,000 plus 4,000. Corporate events are a huge thing. And what is golf? An executive sport. It was the perfect setup. And I just couldn't believe, like, they had this team of people in there and they hadn't come up with the idea to plug this place in with corporate events. And then that's kind of where I just started understanding, like, as good as the photo and video was, it wasn't going to be the thing that like uproots a company and elevates it into another in the direction that it really needs to go. I had to optimize it correctly. And that's where I came up with the term optical optimization, because you don't just make the best video, you make the best video with a purpose in its each department. And then you find all the pain points that they have and implement it that direction. So at that point, I had to learn not only social media marketing, I had to learn the psychology of where you put that piece of content in every little piece of social media that you put it. The Facebook newsfeed has a psychology to it. The Facebook stories have a psychology to it. The reels have a psychology to it. And you have to make it to where people like connect all around. I don't want to get too far into the details, but I had to figure out way more than just photo and video. And that's really what turned everything around. So now I'm just overwhelmed with knowledge.
Well, no, and that's what I'm talking about. His business acumen versus just being a video and social media guy. He took a golf course that was failing. Okay, into the layman's terms out there. Okay, he took a golf course that was failing. And he figured out a way, just what he said. What is golf? It's a
executive sport.
Huh?
It's an executive sport.
An executive sport, right. Which golf courses tend to make their money in the evening when people are off work and on the weekend. To my point, he found a way to make this place make money during the week. More money than they made on the weekend. So, Tim, this is why. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's you don't find that. You don't find that in people very often. And there's a lot of people that can toot their horn out there, but he's not tooting his loud enough, is what I'm saying.
I don't want to give too many secrets away because
yeah,
everybody will figure out what I figured out. But now that I've thought about it,
don't give the secrets away. We want to keep them.
I won't do that.
That's money in your pocket.
but a little bit of educational content, I think, will help so many different industries. I mean, everything has been progressed downwards. So uprooting is helping. That's my experience, and that's kind of what I preach now.
Okay, but and to that, I'm glad you said that. Is because everybody follows the YouTube narrative or the YouTube standard. I can learn it on YouTube. I don't have to do that. I can just get on YouTube. Well, there's 1,000 people doing it wrong too.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Like this auto switcher. Okay, we talked about that, and Zach, still love you, buddy. We got plenty of work to do. But my first producer, that he came from Clear Channel, man. That's the beast of the beast. And he was like, why the hell do I not know about this thing? And I was like, well, because everybody just takes the top 3 searches and that's the holy gospel. No, this is cheap. This thing was cheap compared to everything else. And I was like, I'm going to have 5 employees working all this crap, right?
Yeah, I think you did a good job finding the right equipment, because you're not like programmed by YouTube. You know, that's one of the phases that we went through, because everything is a cinema camera, everything's cinematic. They use those key words on you, and then you make you think that this lens that's like 1.4 is what you need because it's the most cinematic lens. Now, for what you do, yeah, it makes it the most artistic thing, but you're just buying some really expensive equipment and taking some really good photos, and it's not doing anything but looking good. And then there's no conversions and sales. There's no, like, the interactions are fine. Everybody likes it, and it shows that you have popularity, but that's all it's doing. Social proof. Yeah, social proof is definitely an aspect that you need, but that's all it's doing. So finding the right equipment that does the right thing is more important than anything else. And that's the optimization part.
Sweet. Well, and I want to make your life easy. I want you to have the best tools for you. And now I'm not trying to kiss ass on here. I'm not an ass kisser, but I'm just telling you I was super impressed with this guy. I hope to God he can do everything he says he does with video, but that part, if we can learn that together, that's fine. It's what he's got right here. His business acumen is what that is what our relationship is going to build off of. And everything that he said, I already know that he knows what the hell he's doing. But I'm just saying, I'm just super pumped for you, and that's why I wanted to introduce him. We're not going to kick him off. I still, I mean, you, but Tim is Tim. No. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to. So that's what I'm saying. You're not going to be leashed here. Like, you go with the flow. He ain't gonna worry. That's what I'm saying. We're the easygoingest people in the world. Bumping cameras, doing that. Man, you ain't going nowhere. Okay.
Well, I'm a great fit for men too. I have a lot of good male advice because I've been through a lot too. We all have. I don't want to sell myself in the victim mentality, but I think a lot of guys will like what I have to say as well. Like I said, I don't want to be most men. Most men don't want to be most men because we have been trapped into a box that we have to get out of.
Yes.
And there's a ladder that you have to climb to get out of that hole.
And it's fucking hard.
It is so hard. I have the antidote part of it, but it requires work on their own. So that's why I'm really excited to be part of this brand, because I have a lot more to contribute than just the business side, just the camera side. I have a lot of things that a lot of men are going to want to hear to say too.
Yeah, well, dude, I'm pumped, man. I am. I really am. It takes a lot for. Well, no, it doesn't take a lot. It's very easy to have a conversation with a guy for 5 hours if the guy knows what he's talking about, or you know what I mean. Like you're on the same level. You've seen some shit. You've been through some shit. It just or business stuff, just whatever. Yep. It was like butter talking to you for 5 hours. I remember looking at it, I was like, and that's what I'm trying to say about tooting your horn is that business guys that have been in business for a long time, and I know you've been through, I don't know everything. We don't have to divulge it here. It can go over time, just however you want to. It doesn't matter to me.
It's an ever unfolding life.
Yeah. Oh, it is. But I'm just saying that it's easy to have a 5-hour conversation when you're talking with somebody that's worth their salt. You see what I'm saying?
I follow you.
Yeah. It's so easy because you connect in the same stream, and you're trying to explain somebody down here they want to know this up here, but if they can't connect to it, you can't explain it to them.
Yeah,
you can't.
You have to go back down to their level, and they may be so deep down, it's going to cost you a lot to go down there to get them out.
And time. It's time to try to explain, and then even if you explain it to them, sometimes they have to hit their thumb with the hammer to understand what you were saying was true.
Yeah. You don't know what you don't know. So they can.
Right. I got a trash can over here if you want any of that gone. No, go ahead. No, No, you're allowed to chug here. You're allowed to do whatever you want to do. Don't hold back.
I can be a man here.
This is his. Yeah, you can be a man. Okay, so everybody out there, this is his first. This is his first day, and we're throwing him to the fire, and he's doing just fine. Okay, he's doing just fine. So no, I'm just saying. No, we brought a bucket in here. We got a trash can over here. So, I can't wait to learn, man, because I know I could tell when you said what you said at lunch the other day. You're like, look, I've been through a lot. But people that have been through a lot, they don't try to sell it.
Yeah.
They know what they've been through. Okay? Same with me. What's happened lately, I've been through a hell of a lot worse than that. You know what I mean? It all hit me like all at once. Just, 3 years out of dark cloud over my head, and I just didn't know why. And I didn't know if I was going to make it out. But all I can say is the guy upstairs is real, and he has taken good care of me. And but when you said it the other day, I knew you meant it, and I knew it was real. So you dive into whatever you want to dive in down the road, or however you want to do it. But this really, and you've made the perfect introduction, to be honest with you, man. It's fucking awesome. But I'm pumped to have you around, and like I said, what I want you to understand, and you're going to learn this through time, and it's going to be, you'll figure it out quick. I already know you do. But I ain't your boss. I ain't your employer. I ain't your, we are going to be a team, and we're going to build this thing together, and you are going to reap the benefits of what you bring to the table. And I can't wait to do that with you and for you, and you reap the benefits of what you bring to the table, because I know you bring a lot, and I'm fucking super excited.
I am too.
Yeah, that you will never be capped. You will never be muzzled. You will never be. Don't ever. I have to be careful when I say this, because some people out there don't understand how I mean this. I know he means this. Or I know he understands this. The way I'm saying it is just like with my previous companies and all that, is that I would rather you come tell me to fuck off to my face than just fucking come tell me, Just come in and say, hey, dude, we're fucking this up. We got to do it this way. And if that's the way, then I'm never going to second guess you. Like we're going to build confidence together, right?
Yep.
Like you're going to learn how I operate, and I'm going to learn how you operate. And once I figure out how you operate, I'm not going to ask you any questions. When you come into me and say, "Hey, we got to do it. This is what we've got to do," and this is. You're not even going to have to say, "This is what I need." You're going to be able to just make the decision. You might have to throw in a, "Hey, this is what I'm spending this week," But once you get there, you know what I mean? Once that, I'm not going to question what you do. Why would I? I haven't done what you've done. That's why you're here, right?
Right.
You haven't done what I've done.
Nope.
But I've got to earn your respect, and I've got to earn your confidence as your team member, not your boss, your employer, your what's some other words for that shit term? There's a lot of them. Yeah, I'm the guy that said, "Hey, Tim's fucking lighting up. He's got a couple Miller Lights in him." Okay, here we go.
Well, there's more to it than that too, because we also have to talk about the way of the world. And the way of the world is a mold that we're trying to break. So I've seen a lot of things in business that haven't necessarily involved myself.
Yep.
That I've understood where that hierarchy comes from, and seeing that hierarchy, it's what you're talking about. It's a mold that I think needs to be broken too, because everything is about team. Like even a company that I've seen where they call themselves team so and so, they still implement that hierarchy as much as humanly possible. So the team mentality is one, like, it's so important. And like, that's a huge trend it's not a huge trend yet, but it's a trend that has the momentum that it's not going to stop. It's already begun, and we're one of the first ones doing it. That team mentality is important. And one of the things you have to be most humble about is who turned the lights on. So, like, I have to earn your respect too. It's definitely a mutual thing.
Definitely mutual.
Yeah. So I can't ever get to the point where I can't think like, I just elevated so high. I don't need anything anymore. You have to remember who turned the lights on, and you just always have to grind and move forward, regardless of what your status is. And if you can do that as a team, I think, to me personally, that's just my perspective at this time. But I think keeping your grind and keeping that team mentality, that is such a key, especially to a place like where we live, where it has just been the opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, and to that point, and I've always had a cheesy line, and I've known this line for a long time. It kind of comes off cheesy, but it really, really has a significant meaning of the definition of team, which is together everybody achieves more. But here's the thing: to be a part of that team, it's a tight fucking circle.
Yep.
And we are all equal. There is no superior. There is no respect is number one. Respect for your fellow man, your team member. You wouldn't do that because you're not going to make that decision if it affects your team member, because that affects his day, right? And if he makes a bad choice or a selfish choice, that affects your day, right? So we're all equal. And to get in that circle, it's not easy. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have it up here. And again, that's what I'm saying. 5 hours. I heard you pinged every box. And I'm not saying that you don't have, not that I'm saying you have, we're all flawed, right?
Yep.
But what I'm getting at is that you have the acumen to be I would be a team member of yours. You see what I'm saying? It's a mutual, like you say, it's a mutual respect. I can't, and it's just like Tim. Me and Tim have been doing business for 20 years or plus, right? Well, okay, but what I'm getting at is Tim understand. We'll give it to him here in a minute. Not that, again, I'm not. Y'all, we're having beers right now, so there's no structure to this at all anymore. Okay, the structure is out the window. I got to tell my story last time, so if y'all want to tell me to shut the fuck up and y'all want to talk about what you want to talk about, we talk about what you want to talk about. Okay, so now that the rules are on the table, but what I do mean, and I want you to understand, is that my decision making, I'm not going to make a decision without clearing it with you. Because I don't make a decision just because I cut the checks, right? No, I make a decision because I want to make sure that you're good with it, and it either improves your day. Corporate people make fucking bonehead decisions all the time. Oh, this week went to a seminar, and this was this, and this was that, right?
I bought this because I got a deal on it.
Yeah, just make sure you hit the button.
But it don't fit.
Yeah, you're good. It just, but, and they come back and they've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the people that the department, they're like, what the fuck? Who fucking made this decision? Right?
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. When you're dealing with a small, tight-knit network, and we're going to build something great here, man. This is just the beginning. I don't make decisions without clearing them with you first, because your department is critical to our success. Okay? So don't ever feel that your opinion is wanted. Like that's why I'm coming to talk to you. I wanting your advice. I'm wanting your opinion. I'm wanting your perspective, because you've been there. I haven't. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. And as we grow, we're gonna have other team members, okay? But they don't get into the team without your approval. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna vet the same guys that I'm vetting. I'm gonna vet them, and I'm gonna think, okay, man, this guy's all right. Or this guy seems to be worth his salt. But he doesn't get into the team without your approval. You've got to give your stamp of approval. Because me just saying, oh, I hired this guy, he's great, he's going to do this, that, and the other, and you're going to be like, dude, you just fucked my whole program up.
I hired my son because he needed a job. I hired my son because he needed a job. Like, your son don't know what the hell he's doing. You know, bosses do that all the time.
Keep talking.
Yeah, we bring.
Look at that, Timmy's in the picture
But
now.
yeah, you hire the, well, my neighbor, I'm dating this girl and her son. I mean, that's how you screw business up right there.
Yeah.
Cross-pollinating.
Come on, Tim. You hadn't had no mock time. Come on. Get in there and fucking.
Well, no, I'm very impressed with what went on. One thing I like about what I'm hearing, man, he's got that cool, he's just talking like this, you know. Me and you are both, it's nice to have somebody that's got that mellow, like, this is what I think and here's why I think it, you know. That's pretty impressive, because it's with confidence, you know. I met him tonight, Tyler here. I met him tonight, and he's got it together, man. I mean, Mark's been telling me, oh, this is the guy, and I can see it, you know. And trust me, I've been through enough of Mark's. Oh, this is the greatest thing, and the next day, you know, oh yeah, well, I did some research, changed my mind. Mark can be a little rambunctious in certain areas and directions, but no, I think he hit a home run on this deal here, and of course, you haven't seen all the videos, but Mark, I'm gonna build this thing, and you just wait, and you can't wait to see what I got going in my studio, and as soon as I move, and you know, I'm gonna. Well, he just did. He just did. He just did a big old step here. So life is good.
Yeah, but no, I'm telling you, Tim, I went through Jesus, the amount of people looking for jobs in this field is wow. It's up there. And honestly, and don't take this personal when I say this, okay? All these fucking kids, I don't know who's teaching them how to write a resume, but these fucking people know how to write a resume.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, I was just like,
AI.
yeah, exactly. Speaking of, okay, we're not missing out on that deal. That dude, Tim, listen up. I know you're getting retirement age. AI is about to be the next fucking internet boom, oil boom, Bitcoin boom, everything boom that's ever happened in our fucking society and our civilization. AI is going to be the biggest one of them all. Do you agree?
Yeah, it is. It's already there. It's kind of like the UFO thing. They keep putting it on the news, but nobody's really acknowledging it. But deep down, everybody's looking at it. It's a humanities professor right now. That's where AI is at, but it's already learning. You have to get a grip on it before it gets a grip on you. And
So they're preparing us for UFOs, is what you're saying.
yeah, but they created it though.
Yeah. Do you think aliens exist?
Well, I'm a Christian, so I always heard that it was the fallen angels that are here, and so it's the fake UFO stuff. But I mean, if I'm thinking like realistically, just being here scientifically, then I mean, how could they not, right?
Yeah.
So if what I've learned is incorrect, then there's no way that all those stars out there that you see in the sky is another sun, and we're the only life that exists. Doesn't even make any sense.
No, I watched a documentary where, well, it's on Netflix, so let's validate where it came from. But it was interesting that they have discovered other planets that have oceans and they have mountainous areas. And you know what I mean? Have you seen what I'm talking about?
Well, I saw that Jupiter has a moon that was basically a big frozen ice place that was habitant. I don't think I know exactly what you're talking about right there.
No. So there's other Earth-like planets out there that they've found.
Okay.
Now they're solar systems away, but they're all water. They're ice planets that something happened within their solar system that, and I don't want to get off into this shit because we're really doing some cool shit. So, but this happens when you're drinking. We just fucking
generating new topics.
Yeah. So, but they have footage and proof that there's other planets that are like Earth that have. Now their oceans are raging more than ours. Okay, but there is landmass, and there's oceanic activity.
Wow.
With the sun. So we'll dive down that rabbit hole some other day.
Yeah.
That's probably my son. We're talking about AI.
Yeah, we were talking about the AI boom.
But no. Okay, so what you said, like,
For me, AI was kind of like, why did I have?
Yeah, but it's the next boom. It's the next boom. It's the next money making thing. So, but the reason why I asked him that, and I've kind of got a way to back up what you're saying, okay, is that when I was 14 years old, I got into a chug-a-lug contest. Here's the thing. Here's why I know. Number one. Here's why I know that there's a God. Okay. And we do go somewhere when we leave this place. Is I got into a chug-a-lug contest with a gallon of Jim Beam, and my buddy had a gallon of Jim Beam, and I chugged almost 3/4 of that gallon of Jim Beam, and I had alcohol poisoning, and I was pronounced dead for 5 minutes. I stopped breathing, no blood flow, no heartbeat, no nothing. Okay, and I remember. And this is what confirms what I felt, okay? I didn't hover over my body and see what was going on, but I could hear what was going on. But I felt this peace, like no pain. No pain. Like in Rocky, no pain. Rocco, no pain. But I felt this peace. But I heard everything that was going on in the room. But it was from above, right?
Okay.
Like maybe ceiling level. It was that loud. I could hear the doctors, hit him again. They were shocking me, and they were shocking me, and they were shocking me. And my mom was in there too, and she was, I could tell she was 2 hands on my chest, just like, beating, saying, "Don't give up, don't give up. You've never given up on anything in your life. Don't give up now." And then all of a sudden, gone. And 4 days later, I wake up out of my coma. And my mom told me what went on, and I was like, I remember every single bit of that. Now, when my dad died, it was probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, because I was still married when it happened. It's 2 years ago, yeah. Love you, buddy. He was already on his deathbed, and they had to go down there. They were like, we're pulling the plugs. We need you down here. So I went down there, and he was already in a coma. He was done. He was gone. But I walked in, and you'll get some stories about my dad. Trust me, we got stories for days. Okay. Tim can enlighten you on some of them. I mean, this guy's a fucking legend. Okay. But, I walk in and I was like, y'all don't know what the fuck you're in for. I said, this ain't over yet. If his heart's still beating, he could fucking shoot straight up and tell y'all all to fuck off and get him a wheelchair and he get me out of here and get me a pack of cigarettes and a 12-pack of Coors Light or Natural Light. It doesn't matter. I ain't done yet. And they were like, well, and I started telling some stories about him. And they were like, you need to be careful what you say. And I was like, okay. So the head nurse pulls me out in the head nurse and the, Tim, you'll know the word. What's the head of the church at the hospital? Is it the chaplain? Yeah. She pulled me out there and she said, you need to be very careful what you say. And I was like, what do you mean? She said, because the hearing is the last thing that goes. He can hear everything you're saying. He may not be able to express what he heard, but he can hear everything that you're saying. Hearing is the last thing that goes. So we're Catholic, okay? So we call in the priest to read him his last rites. And it's me and my sister there. And he's reading him his last rites. And I'm not kidding you, Tyler. I've known my father for a long time, and I know what he's all about, okay? But dude, I'm talking crying I'm talking full-on tears just flowing out of his eyes. I could open his eyelid, and his eye was just dead. Stone cold, no movement, no nothing. But I'm talking tears. And that's what she told me. She said, see, he knows y'all are here. He knows he hears what's all going on. And he knows that he's about to die. But he's okay with it. And it was the most wild thing that I've ever seen in my life. But it confirmed. And here's the way that you'll understand this later on. But the way that my dad died, my dad was a very, he died poor on his own account. So they don't typically take poor people to the type of hospital that he went to. It was a Catholic hospital, and they treated their patients, I mean, to the tens, okay? And it was like when you look at society, right? When people are poor and all that, they normally don't end up there. They take them to the poor people hospital, right? No. That's what that hospital was there for. That's what they were like. We take everybody. We don't care who you are. And it was
something that Tyler doesn't know about the whole story was that he didn't see his dad for the last few years. His dad went off on a hiatus and disappeared. And he was on his deathbed before Mark knew that he was even in the hospital. He had been trying to find him for a few years. He even had me try to call his dad because I had his number. And
you were the last person that he talked to before he left.
Yeah, his dad just he disappeared and wanted to be on his own and do his own thing for various reasons, and you can get into all that some other time. But by the time Mark knew his dad was in the hospital, he was long down the road of not coming back.
Yeah.
So it isn't like Mark had a choice of putting him in a hospital or insurance or this. It was, he'd been looking for him for years, and he got the call. They finally found him, and he was in South Texas and Central Texas.
The last time I talked to my dad was on the way to his lake house.
Yeah, and it was the biggest, craziest thunderstorm I had ever seen out there was when your dad was there.
Yeah,
figures, Schlep Rock. He brought it with him.
Yeah, no, and Tim, dude, I'm telling you, man, that's what I'm saying. We'll get into those. You're gonna flip the fuck out when you start hearing his story. Oh, it's insanity. I mean, if no, we're not going to get into that. Tonight's you're not, Tyler.
You got plenty of time.
Huh?
Plenty of time.
Yeah, but no, tonight's you're not, man. We're just I'm glad you're here, man. I'm telling you, I'm pumped.
Yeah, I feel really good about this.
Yeah. So I can't wait to get started. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I've got other topics we can talk about, but I really kind of want to give you the floor.
Hey, let me.
Yeah, well, both of y'all.
Well, how old are you and where are you from in general? Because I'm 61 next week or two. He's 45, so, and I know you're younger than him, so I think we got like a good spectrum covered here.
Well, I'm 37. I'll be 38 in September. September 15th is my birthday. Established.
He's a Virgo.
Woo.
That's why.
Smartest of the smart.
Dude. He's a Virgo.
We're unplugged.
You're a Virgo too, aren't you?
No,
Leo. Okay. No, I'm a Virgo. I'm September 7th, 1977. So that's why it's all about the Shamrock, the Luckies. My birthday is 9777.
That's pretty cool.
With the 9 and the 777s on my side. Okay, so did you tell me that the other day?
Yeah.
Okay, well, no, I do remember that. We talked for 5 fucking hours, but okay, it makes sense. He's a Virgo. That's why we're on the same wavelength. All right, go.
Yeah, so established 1985, right smack dab in the middle of September. It's kind of funny how so many people have September birthdays also. So I think New Year's Eve has something to do with a lot of regenerations.
Yeah, lots of action going on.
Lots of action.
Blocks of practicing.
I think most of my family's born in September too. We used to have this big old like family reunion type thing where we would all have our birthdays together because one was born on the 7th. I think one's born on the 7th too. One's on the 11th. My dad's on the 14th. I'm on the 15th. My cousin's on the 16th. My family gets down on New Year's Eve apparently.
My wife is September 3rd, and I'm August 21st. So Christmas.
You almost made it though. You almost made it.
You're almost one of us, man. You're so close.
I beat you to it.
You beat me. Oh, that's a good way.
No, my son's the 27th.
20. Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, and okay, so my mechanic that I told you about that was my right hand man in my last company, he was September. Fuck this up. I think it was it was 17th because I was like, okay, you got the 7. That makes sense, right? He was the 17th. And then I had another guy that worked for me that he was the 21st, so I equated the 3 7s to that. No, I'm all about that Virgo voodoo shit going on. I'm with that.
There's something to it.
There is.
Yeah.
The guy that taught me how to he didn't teach me how to fish, but he's the one that backed me in the charter business. And he's I just talked to him the other day because he's about to turn 60. He's in between 60 and 65. Or he might be 66, 67. Somewhere in there. It doesn't matter. He's 60. He's mid-60s. And he's one of my best friends. One of my best friends. And he's September 23rd. But that's why we got along so well. And I mean, dude, this guy took me under his wing. It's just a vibe. It's. I'm telling you, it's the Virgo wavelength. It's. There's something there that
We're unplugged.
Huh?
We're unplugged.
Yeah, but Virgos attract each other.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
And not like I'm talking about male. Female, I don't know if we would live with a Virgo female. Do you?
I've been friends with a couple of girls that have been really close to my birthday, and we were always really close friends, but it always bounced away from each other really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of attraction, like the physical part was kind of there. I mean, obviously, two good-looking people, you like each other, but like internally, there was some kind of like bounce back.
Well, it's because it's too much. It's too much because Virgos have got. No offense, Tim, you were almost there, but Tim thinks like us. I'm telling Tim's on the same wavelength. But what I'm getting at is that there is. We don't need all that pushback. We want somebody that's more docile and not submissive, but because we're so intense through the day that we don't want to come home and deal with intensity. We want to deal with somebody that's calm.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You want somebody that's zen because we're intense all day long. We create our own intensity.
That's
right?
for sure.
And it's just in our blood, right? So, yeah, I remember. I'm not going to bring up her name because I don't want to embarrass her. But anyway, it was a good friend of mine that she had it going all on up here business. I mean, just everything. Rich. I don't know how rich she was, but she was wealthy and successful and all that. And I was like, man, I would not want to come home to you. I mean, God bless. I mean, we're great during the day together. Like, I mean, we were just friends. I didn't know she was sexually attracted to me, right? And all of a sudden it came out of the bag. And I was like, I don't want to come home to you. Like you're fucking too much like me. You know what I mean? Like I want to come home and a notch down. I don't need to be. Let's talk about the next business, man. Fuck business, man. It's time to drink some beer.
Yeah. Your woman is supposed to be your piece.
Yeah. Yeah. Tim,
What?
I think that we found our guy.
Oh, no doubt.
I told you you'd like him.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I've got a different one. I've got a different one for the day every day. I did go buy me I bought me 2 new pairs of shorts. You're gonna be look. I got a watch. I've got 2 new pairs of shorts. I had a blowout in my crotch like that fucking big.
He gives me the microphone and then throws the blowout in the crotch on me.
Yeah.
All right. I've never blown my.
I went to the
pants
mall. Hey, I went to the mall the last 2 weekends. I've been to the mall, and I'm drinking fucking iced coffee while I'm there.
Hey, but most men go to the mall with their woman. So if you're single,
I'm trolling, baby.
no, but I'm saying
I'm a mall walker
if
now.
If you're single, you can go to the mall. If you're married and you go to the mall, that ain't good.
I bought some cologne too the other day.
Oh Jesus!
Bought a watch and cologne, 2 pairs of shorts.
What do you need a watch for? I mean, you got a phone with a. I can read 621 on your phone from over here. What do you need a watch for?
I'm single and you're not.
Man, your watch has more going on than time. I can tell that. Probably a Geiger counter and all kinds of shit going on with it.
Can you talk to that thing? It is. What kind of watch is that? Ooh, Armani.
Well, excuse me.
Yeah. Excuse me. No, well, fuck. I feel like
Give me an old Timex, man.
I'm fucking bragging on my new watch over here, and I'm rocking the Fossil. You know, the cheapest one they make.
I need to get one out of an old drawer somewhere. You gotta wind it up with the little knob on it.
Yeah, where 5 men died.
Do they even make watches anymore without batteries in them? That'd be a hell of a question. I highly doubt it. Can you even buy a watch with a frickin' where you gotta wind it?
I don't know if they. I don't know if this thing.
I mean,
even has a
that don't
battery.
cost $1 million.
Do these
'cause
have
it's
batteries?
Retro.
One from
There ain't no battery in that, is there?
Yeah, I bet you it's got the old, if you move your arm, it magically charges it by motion.
Resistance. Yeah.
It's a fake knob. You're knobless. I'm done talking to you.
Now I've got a Fossil one too that it's got almost the same color face. It's got that transparent. It's got all the gears in the back. So it's all old school. You literally twist it and you can pull that knob out and you can tell it's like a gear.
Yeah.
So it's on some timer and it's got the little spinning thing in the back of your watch. So
It tells you when it's dying down.
Kind of. Well, it's one of those things like, what was it, Rolex, I think, where when you walk around, that thing's always like moving, so it's spinning the gears. You know what I'm talking about? Right. Yeah, self-winding. Yeah. So it's got one of those, and I got it from Fossil too. They still make them. I think it's like a personal preference.
Well, no, my whole thing was I was looking at all the other watches, and I wasn't getting any much more for my money for $500, $600, $700, and this was $170. It looks nice, and I just wanted to watch.
I wore a watch when I was a kid, in grade school or whatever, and then you had to get the right band, like those kind of bands. I mean, they'd pull the little hairs out of your wrist. And,
Yeah.
or you could get the leather band with the thing. But yeah, I mean that was the biggest thing I hated about the watch was it would pinch, here, there, and everywhere. Yeah. So, but I haven't wore a watch in a million years. I remember used to having the suntan round circle.
Oh yeah.
I mean, everybody wore a watch.
All right, so Tyler,
you didn't know what the hell time it was.
Okay, so Tyler, answer this question: do you know what a Walkman is?
Yes.
Cassette Walkman.
Yeah, from Home Alone.
No, did you ever have a cassette Walkman? Did you ever have cassettes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a 1988 Delta Oldsmobile, and it had a cassette player.
Okay.
Okay. What about an 8-track?
That was right before me. You got me, big.
Okay, so he checked the last box. He's gone because he's had cassettes.
Oh.
He damn near knocked every fucking thing over in here tonight, but he's been through cassettes. He's all right.
My son's car has a cassette player.
I'm teasing Tyler.
No, my son's car got a cassette player in it, and he's got a thing where you plug the cassette in, and it's got the Bluetooth thing connected to the cassette. So the cassette transforms the Voodoo into the speakers through your Bluetooth.
Okay, well, how about this?
How about that retro?
How about this? The SS Mahoney out there? The SS? Okay, so if you're not familiar, did I tell you about the SS?
Yes.
Are you familiar with you know what SS is?
Yep.
Okay. Gilligan's Island? Right, okay. Dude, I am in search for the cigarette lighter fucking charger for my truck to charge my phone. There is no USB. I don't even have a cassette player in that fucking thing. It's just a radio. I've got to get the cigarette lighter plug-in to convert to my iPhone. Dude, I'm rocking the 93 Ford Ranger, dude. I'm about to fix that thing up. What I'm going to do, I bought it for my son to where he can, just like that Grom out there, he's got to get to his neighborhood where all his buddies are. But at the same time, I was like, look, I'll buy you a little truck, tint the windows, fix it up. That way you can get around after we left our old place, right?
Left it.
Huh?
Left it.
Yeah. So, dude, when I bought that thing, I was like, fuck, this thing is perfect. I mean, so I don't even want to buy a new truck right now. That thing rocks. Barely makes it. That's what I told him. I said, look, it barely makes it up a hill. Hey, keep it in the fence. Yeah. Fire hose Tim over here. Gonna freak out my neighbors. No, so it's funny, man. Well, dude, what time did we start?
Actually, I have no clue. Look at that, not recording time either. I'm out of here, right?
No, you're fine. We don't have the proper tools yet. That's why. No, your fault. We'll see if Tim wants to dive off into anything, and then we'll. But no, I think it's good for everybody to know out there, and again, this is just the next move for the next big move, and we are so happy to have Tyler. I am, and y'all are going to get to know this guy real well, and I can't wait for everybody to get to know him, and I can't wait for everybody to get to know what quality work he does, because I know that it's coming. So, Tim, get over back on the mic, bro. Do you remember when we started this?
What, like the first
Well,
one?
We quit at 5 on the last one.
You mean started what?
This one.
Oh, just this. No, I didn't look at what time.
Well, yeah, I think we've been close on for an hour, but what I was saying is just how thankful and excited I am to have this guy part of the team. So, I mean, not that you have to
Oh, no doubt.
kiss his ass or anything like that, but if you want to give some thoughts on
No, he's everything you said, you know. But, man, I tell you, I mean, I've lived through so many Mark just, yeah. You know, just to find out, you know, in short order, well, you know, I did a little more research and, you know what I found out. But, no, I think you nailed it this time. Not that you ain't nailed it a bunch of other times.
Yeah.
But, you know, you got to be careful on Mark's enthusiasm because it will, and it's infectious too, you know.
But no, tell the truth. Tell the truth. He needs to hear the truth. I'm not perfect.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Let it rip, Tater Chip.
Mark gets jazzed up and, you know,
when I get revved up and go for a certain direction, you're going to be like, whoa, dude, you need to fucking get off the fucking throttle.
But sometimes it's like, yeah. But other times it's, you know, all right, well, I'm going to let this play out for a week or 2 or 3. And if he's still that jazzed in 2 or 3 weeks, then great. Then sometimes it's, you know, I don't know about, you know, I looked into that or I learned some more information. But,
well, typically what you're talking about, though, and I agree 100%, and he needs to hear this, okay? He needs to hear this, okay, is that since I sold my concrete company, or I shut it down, I was trying to replace that big multi-million-dollar operation, okay? I was trying to replace that. And I would dive fucking head first into shit, thinking, this is the next multi-million-dollar operation, right? Not knowing, well, I did my research, but what I'm getting at is that, like, I'll use my coffee business as an example. I had but I didn't worry about the small craft shit. I wasn't worried about the small craft. I was worried about the big craft. I was going after the big dogs. I was going after Folgers. You know, let's give people good fucking coffee for a decent fucking price.
That's what I'm talking about. He's getting into coffee business, and he's like, I want to be the 3rd biggest coffee company in America by, you know, in 18 months. It's like, Jesus, Mark, that's a little. No, you don't understand. You don't understand. It's like, I kind of do. You know, I mean, I really don't see how that's possible, you know. Well, you're from Cleveland. I mean, that's not the way you people think up there. You know, it's shit like that.
I did have $2 million worth of orders my first 2 months. And then COVID hit.
Yeah, you know. But
to my fuck. if I can't flex my chest a little bit.
But see, in honor of, my loyalty to him, I get off a Delbert McClinton cruise, blues cruise out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It's great. I come back, I fly in, like 2 days later, I leave for Vegas to go help him with the coffee show. Well, because I had faith, and he asked me, hey, he's like, Tim, you got the gift of gab. I got to man this booth. You'd be great. Come out here and help me, and, we'll have a blast. And we worked our ass off on that
Fuck
thing.
Yeah, we did.
You
slept on a $12 air mattress in at an apartment in Vegas. Yeah,
it was a hilarious experience,
we
man.
Air mattressed it for
But after 7 days of drinking the the all you could drink package, and then 2 days later I'm going to Vegas. We didn't gamble one time. We didn't set foot in a casino. We were too damn tired.
We only went to the bar once.
I didn't remember that.
We went to the
bar.
bar.
We bought a bunch of beer all the time.
No, we went to the bar once at the Hilton. It was, I think, the last night we were there. We were like, all right, we can at least go to the bar.
I don't even remember that, to be honest with you.
I don't either, because I was fucking exhausted.
Okay. But anyway, I went to Vegas with his coffee dream, and they everything was $50 or $100 or in the hall. What do you call it? The convention center.
Yeah.
Then they wanted like $200 for a 50 or a 5-gallon thing of water.
Yeah. No. Okay. So
and they had to deliver it, and you had to pay the fee, and you had to pay. Everything was you had to pay.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me just say this. And then I said, all this union shit is such a fucking racket. I said, the day's gonna come when they ain't just going to be able to shoot fish in a barrel, and they're all going to be starving, and I won't give a flying fuck about none of them. And about a week later, COVID shut the whole town down. I was all over that prediction. And then I'm sitting back in Dallas watching the news, and they're like, oh, the convention business, everybody's broke, and the crew, we're all hurt and dying. It was like, you fuckers deserve it, because you raped and pillaged. You took advantage of everybody you could, and now you want to take my tax dollars to pay your salary? That you were worse than the mafia. No. Yeah, they were. I was going to say they were the mafia. No, they're worse than the mafia. The mafia at least has some integrity.
Yeah, and loyalty.
Yeah,
and respect.
That Vegas crap, when that caved in 1 week after we got back, and they shut the whole thing down, and everybody was crying. It was like, I told you. I didn't know when the day was coming, but I knew it was coming, and it came.
This is Timmy Wisdom right here. I'm telling you, this guy, you're going to get to know him over a period of time. He is. Sometimes you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then he's like, I fucking told you. I fucking told you, and you're like, you're right, man. But no, what he is right about me is that I'm passionate. I am not scared of anything. Okay. And if I see an avenue of making money, but here's the thing. This is what you need to know. This is a healthy friend of mine. This is one of two friends of mine that stuck with me through all the shit that I've been through. Him and my attorney. Okay. Those are the only two people. Because I appreciate when this guy walks up to me and says, man, Mark, I think you're going about this all wrong. Because he's got the healthy balance on the back end of my fucking crazy. Okay.
Well, it's not a lot of times it's not the all wrong. It's the timing or the over the topness or it's
you're not thinking it through.
Hey Mark, if you're the coyote on the fucking Roadrunner, and you got a rocket on your back and you're lighting the fuse, you want to make sure you're at least on the right track or pointed down a straight road, or you can't have a curve 500 feet in front of you and you're lighting a rocket on your back. Hey, does that thing steer at all? It's just. He's a big picture guy, and I'm kind of more the like he said, he's not afraid of nothing, which is an absolute attribute, and it's the worst thing in the world. It just depends on the situation. You know, nobody wants to jump out of a plane.
I will.
Without a parachute?
You
didn't listen.
No, the first time I went skydiving, I jumped by myself with no help.
I'm just saying, if you're in an airplane and it's on fire and you don't got a parachute, do you ride it in the ground or do you jump out?
I jump out.
But if you've got a plane on fire and you have a parachute, then it makes total sense to jump out. If
I got a chance in hell, I'm fat chick down there.
But I'm just saying, see,
body.
You proved my point. You're just, I'll jump out. You didn't even know the parameters. You didn't even know that, you know.
But this is Timmy. I'm telling you, this is what the beauty of him. Listen to what he's saying. Keep going.
There's a flow chart in your brain, but it happens real quick to me. The flow chart of
what's the risk?
What do you do this? And if you do that, what happens after that? And what happens after that? And or could we just do this? I could get the job done in an hour doing this, or I could go on YouTube and go buy $500 worth of tools, and then, you know, it'll only take me 15 minutes once I start, but it'll take me 6 minutes to get set up. Do I do the hour and be done with it, or will I ever use these tools again? You know, it just. But what's crazy to me and where I run into trouble, it's almost like a firecracker goes off and boom, and I just see it all. I literally see it all that quick. All of the shit. Like, oh, okay. Like somebody put it up on a frickin' board. I look at all of the options and, okay, I'm going to go this route. But then when you're with somebody, you're like, well, no, let's talk about this. And, oh, no, I already know I'm doing this because I already see all the problems doing it these other ways. Or I understand the ramifications of shit way more instantly than other people do. But it's on the smaller scale. I can't see the ramifications of the big picture because there's too many variables that can happen. But if I'm looking at the thing right in front of me, we're in this room, this is what I got to work with. You know, it's 60 degrees in here and it's 108 outside. Trust me, when I go outside, it's like beautiful. It's a 50-degree difference between that side of the door and this side. It's crazy. But if I know exactly what I got to deal with and I've got exactly this shit to deal with it, I'm perfect. Even if I'm fucked, I'm not fucked because then I'll be the least amount of fucked. I can make the least amount of fucked happen. But it's the big picture, like you're a big picture guy. You worry about the details later. It's almost like I worry about the details up front because one of the details can derail the whole motherfucking thing and make it stupid.
But that's the whole thing, though, is that I didn't have my team with me anymore when I was making these decisions. Hit your camera, Tyler, if you don't mind. That's when I was making these decisions that he's talking about, is that I didn't have my team members around anymore to check me. You see, that's the beauty. That he's always checked me. Always. And he saved me more ass whippings than I ever deserve to not have. Because even though I don't want to hear it at first, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear my idea being shot down. Because I think it's fucking great, right? But at the same time, that's the whole thing about whenever I tell you, I'd rather be told to be fucked off to my face than not. Because I respect that. It's because you're stopping me from doing something. Go ahead.
But see, he'll have an idea or a vision. Think about that. How big is an idea and how big is a vision?
It's fucking huge.
I mean, that's there's a wide swath. How do you make your vision happen? Well, he works from the top down. I work from the bottom up. I mean, if I can see that there is a major flaw, not that'll shut it down, but a major issue that has to be overcome for this to all work. You know, where's the bottleneck going to happen? This is a problem. Do you know how to get around this particular problem? I'll worry about that when I get there. That scares me. because that is be like changing an air conditioner on a roof of a commercial building. Okay, I can do that. You buy the unit. Does it fit the curb? Does it this? Does it that? Is it the right voltage? Is it all that? All these, can you get the thing out there on a trailer? All that shit. Did you order a crane? Oh, fuck, we ain't got a crane. This thing weighs 2,000 pounds. Oh, okay, I ordered a crane. How big is the boom? Well, I can get at the edge of the roof. Well, this thing's like 100 feet back. So see, everything worked. You bought the unit. It'll fit the curb. You got a way logistically to get it out there. You got everything exactly what it needs to be, but you don't have the crane. Next.
You want to know what I've picked up from listening to you go back and forth a lot? I had just analyzed a lot.
Huh?
I just analyzed a lot.
What's that?
So, one thing that's common in human behavior, especially people who are growers, is that we become blind by our ambition, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time. So when you have somebody who's a lot older than you, it's not that they're smarter, or even if somebody's younger than me, it's not that I'm smarter than that person necessarily or have a higher IQ level, that I'm further down the road. So I've pushed through this mud of path that didn't exist in my reality. But when somebody older than me tells me, you're going to go through this because there's something that I can't see from the inside because I'm creating something that's new. So it's hard for me to hear what they say, even though the words resonate. I don't see what they're saying because I haven't seen what they're saying, right? So that's kind of where I'm understanding what he's saying about you, about being blind about your ambition, because if you're trying to take down Folgers and companies like that, I know enough about you that your analytical skills are so acute that you have seen something that they are really fucking up on. So you see a weakness on an area that you can really capitalize on. So you see a direct beeline pathway to take down a massive company like that.
That's what I've always done.
And the little bit that you told me about the coffee stuff, that when we had that conversation the other day, I'm like about the cold brew just in particular. Like I'm all into cold brew right now. And the things you told me about it, I was like, that exists? I don't even know. So then you're talking about like Folgers, and who doesn't know about Folgers? Right?
I'm going to let you keep going. I want to hear what you say.
I'm at the final end of that, but
No.
I know enough about you already to know that if you have the confidence to go after a company like Folgers or whoever, you see something that they don't see. And it's because they're so widespread and so corporate. They don't have anybody to do what you're talking about and uproot and do something different. It's old. It's been around forever. They probably quit using quality to increase profits, to add whatever into it. And you've been down so many roads, you can tell that, you know, he has something figured out. That's why you have the confidence to be his friend. And you're trying to tell him like, hey, there's a couple things you're going to run into, a couple barriers that it looks like it's a liability because you don't know what you don't know. And that's the hardest part, but you also have to experience to understand and to see. Otherwise, it wouldn't just resonate. It's like, I hear what you're saying, and obviously that makes sense. That's why I'm listening to you, but I haven't seen what you see, and I still have to see it anyway. And I think most people go through that anyway. But most people aren't analytical to the point to where you can take down a company like that. But
that was probably a little overshot, the top three. It wasn't that. It was.
Yeah, I'll give you that, but it was some ridiculous freaking.
Well, no. Here's the thing. It's the same in the concrete business. Is that I saw the problem in the concrete business, okay, which was these big corporate companies. Let's just take the Titans, the Folgers, the because you're not going to know all these companies that I'm talking about in the concrete business. they've been doing it that way for so fucking long. They get away with it, and they've got their market, the low budget. But there's the people like you that are the connoisseurs, okay, that appreciate a good coffee, okay? Starbucks is the Walmart of coffee. It's the Walmart. They have fucked so many farmers over that nobody will sell them beans anymore. They're getting the shittiest beans known to man, and they just fucking burn them consistently, right? When I was telling you about how you roast the bean and all that, what the process and all that is. So that's and again, this we're not arguing here, but I'm just saying that's the part that Tim doesn't see that I see of what because Tim saw in Vegas every time somebody took a little 3-ounce cup and went, what? And they're like,
Yeah, they did. They all shit their pants. Then we had people from other booths going, man, I don't want to be like a coffee fucking whore over here, but
I gotta have some more.
Can I get some more of this coffee? And
Yeah, Starbucks was fucking complaining. They were like, who's this fucking guy? This is 5 shows in.
yeah, who's this guy giving free coffee away?
Yeah.
They're selling shit for $7 around the corner.
Yeah, and my shit's free. And we got gallons of it. Okay? So what I'm getting at, it goes back to every metric of anything. That's why I'm so excited to have you. Is that we have to, whether it's concrete, coffee, okay, podcast, media company, whatever we're framing this whole thing to be, okay, we have to have a quality product with good service, with good everything that comes along with delivering that product. It has to be the best. Has to be the best. Now, does that not mean that we need Tim worrying about this? You need that guy. And I used to have that guy. That guy was my dad. It was my right-hand man. I had all those guys that were there that worried about. I'm a 5 to 10 year guy, but my dad was a today guy. He worried about today. He didn't worry about. He was like, dude, what's ever going on in your fucking brain, I'm worried about today. I'm not worried about 5 years from now. This is what I've got to get done today.
Well, and also when you had 50 people working for you, if one guy every other month said something genius, you were overwhelmed with information. But somebody might be like, I ain't going to say nothing. Every 6 months, one guy pipes up and goes, I really think this.
Okay, so that's how we handled that was the suggestion box. And there's nothing wrong with the suggestion box, okay? Because a lot of your employees that you think are stupid, you know what I mean? Like, you think like, God, man, I'm so sick of hearing the same fucking thing. Every now and then again, man, one comes through and you celebrate that in front of the whole company. Do you want another one, brother?
Yeah, because there's something that's whipping their ass that
they're seeing.
But they ain't bitched about it. And then the first time they bring it up, they're like, this has been stupid for 6 months.
Yeah, but my whole point is
it's going to be stupid for 2 more years unless you do something about it.
Okay, but that's why I'm building this ground up, because exactly what you're talking about, what he's talking about. And Tim, I'm glad you brought this up. Okay, because I am that. That's been me for the last 3 years. I've been trying to replace that multi-million-dollar company that I had, and you can't fucking do it. Now, when you have a lot of money, I got a trash can over here. When you got a lot of money and you ain't scared, like I'm scared, I ain't scared. That's what he's saying is like, fuck, Mark. Because he's in the air conditioning business, in the roofing business. He's been in the home service, and I went to him. I was like, Tim, come on, man, let's fucking start a home services business. We're gonna do AC, plumbing, fucking bomb. We're gonna do it all, and we're gonna be the fucking best because I got the fucking budget to outbid everybody. And he's got the licenses, and he's like, fuck you, dude. I don't want no part of any of that shit.
I didn't say fuck you. I said fuck that.
Yeah. But what I'm getting at is that when you have that money and you're coming off a high like that, like everything that is so successful, everything you touch just boom, boom, boom. And the money that's coming in, it's just coming in and you're just like, fuck, I can't do nothing wrong. You know what? I did a few things fucking wrong.
Here's the thing. I always say, whenever I say here's the thing, I'm kind of mocking him because he says here's the thing all the time. But the issue is if you've got a boatload of money, you've got a bunch of options. So it's easier not to do nothing stupid. If you're grinding it out and you got a few bucks, the gravy deals aren't really there to jump on. If you see something, you know, hey, here's a $30,000 truck for $20,000. Hey, if you got $1 million, you're like, well, fuck, why wouldn't I buy that? I'll sell it tomorrow for $10,000. If a guy's got $22,000 to his name, is he going to buy a $20,000 or $30,000 truck for $20,000 to leave him $2,000 to his name and he's got to pay his bills? So your options. So the more money you have, the more you can cherry pick the fucking deals that pop up here and there. Doesn't mean you're a genius. It means you're an idiot if you fuck those up. So the lower you are down, I'd say the lower on the totem pole, but it's actually the opposite. You know, the lower on the totem pole means you're more badass, more useless information that I know. So if you've got the money and you've got the opportunity, it's real easy to make good decisions. If you've only got a little bit of money, that may be a good deal, but I just can't put myself in that position because, well, even if it, and here's the other thing, it's still a good deal, but what if it doesn't work on the right time frame? So you got $22,000, you spend 20 on the truck, but your rent comes due in the meantime and all these other bills, and it takes you an extra month to sell the truck. Now you're fucked again. But if you got $1 million, who gives a shit how long it takes to sell the truck? You made $10,000.
And I lived like that for a long time. And
when the ball's rolling, it's easy to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah,
it's hard to get the ball rolling again.
Oh, dude. Oh, well, that's my whole men out there. Listen to what just fucking was said, because that's exactly what's happened to me the last 3 years, and this is the point of what I'm trying to say. I was making bonehead moves because I had a lot of money, and I didn't have the support. I didn't have the team. I didn't have the people around me keeping me in check. That's what was missing. I didn't have people breaking my ego down and saying, hey, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Okay? What happens in life, it doesn't matter what you do, business, life, relationships, whatever. There is an uphill battle with every single thing that you do. And you know what? I had too much money making stupid fucking decisions thinking I could buy my way to the top. And it don't work. You need a team of people that will do exactly what just happened here. That will keep you in check. That's how success is made. Is a team of people working for the same goal, not afraid to put you in check. Because if you're not in check, it affects them. And that's a lack of respect for your team. Period.
And it works that way in a marriage too. Just because your wife's nagging you, is she really nagging you? Or is she keeping you from being a dumb fuck? Again. And see, there's no right answer to that in this format. Because that's such an individual, personalized thing. You know, some guy could go home and, man, my wife nags me. Man, all she does is say I drink too much. And you're like, well, fuck, you're a soak. You're in a bar 12 hours a day, and then on the weekends you drink whiskey. You're bitching at her for nagging at you because you drink too much? We all know you drink too much. We're just your buddies, and we don't bust your balls over it. But You got to live with her, and she's got to live with you, and you got to pay the bills, and the bills ain't getting paid. So don't bitch at her for bitching at you. Fucking pick 2 nights a week and get drunk and go to work the rest of the time. Pull your head out of your ass.
All right, boys. Tyler, you got any final thoughts, my man?
I'm so stuck on listening to what you guys got to say. I don't know what else to say at this point.
No, or have we scared you off?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Hey, look, there's always a mountain to climb. We're all blinded by ambition. We just got to go step by step. Sometimes you got to go back down to the bottom to uproot, because the mountain that you're going to build is better than the mountain that you got to climb. So that's one of the final things I guess I've got to say. I'd rather build the mountain than climb it, because build it, you don't have to climb it, because you're building it piece by piece. And that's how mountains are formed.
That's
Not by climbing them and conquering them, by building them and letting others try to climb that and failing.
Tim.
All right. So
That's some
I
good-
haven't known
that's
you
some
very
good-
long, but
that's some
I
good
can
shit.
tell you got a whole lot more wisdom that I just can't wait to. Like, but like when Mark told me, the other day that you built companies that were failing, and I told him, well, then this is perfect, because you don't got the baggage. There is no baggage here. What baggage there is so minuscule, it's nuts. There's no like long-term contracts. We don't have a giant building. We don't have 50 employees and 30 of them been here for 20 years, and half of them should have been fired 10 years ago. And you tell the owner, man, that you got like 4 people that got to go, and he's like, well, they're family. I mean, I'll get divorced if we fire them. And it's like, well, I can't fix your company with. They're stealing everything. Go to their garage. All your inventory's there. So yeah, there's no trying to. You're not trying to remold something like concrete that's already set up. I mean, there's nothing here. I mean, the sky's the limit. That's what's beautiful about it. I'm jazzed.
I'm telling you, man. All right. Well, I don't think that I can top either one of that, except that Tim was right. And I want you to know that there was, for 3 years, I was trying to replace what I had. And I had an unlimited budget, not an unlimited budget, but in my mind I had an unlimited budget. Ended up losing a lot of money. And there's nothing better than old-fashioned work and hard work, and just all we got to do, let's just make the agreement here, is that if we work hard and we do the right thing, the money's coming with it. And I'm telling you that anybody that gets in the circle, it's going to be a tight fucking fit. And you're going to have to really, really bring something to the table. And I'm so ready, my man, for you. Everybody knows my love for Tim. He's going to start his own channel, and hopefully we can build something for Tyler. I think that's not going to be a hard thing to do at all. But I just can't wait for what this man brings to the table, and I'm so happy that you're here. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate you just being you. And I don't even know what else to say, so I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Let's do some drinking.
No, it feels good to be here too. I'm super excited, and I'm ready to help most men not be most men.
Yeah, but we got all sorts of other stuff to build too, brother. All right, so here we go. I am Mark Mahoney.
Tyler Cambry.
Tim Marin.
Okay. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia, themostmen.com, info@themostmen.com. And Thank you guys out there, man. This is about to get fun. So, thanks everybody. Look forward to the. I don't even know what I'm looking forward to. I'm just happy for what's going on. So, thank you guys. Thank you.